G'day folks, it's the executive summary time. It's Johnny Seville here, and again we talked last night about the likelihood that we were going to have a little dead cat bounce. We saw that today. The S&P 500 dropped down into this area here, hitting a low of 2045.50, and then just kind of bounced right off that, wish-washing towards the end of the day. But some good day trading opportunities trading the SPY for those of you who'd like to trade futures and so forth. Excellent opportunities there. But focusing on the stocks, of course, we had some awesome performance from, especially from OTIV, one of last night's selections, going up straight from the 155 area we talked about, hitting a high of 184 today, so up about 20% from the entry point. I traded that and got out of that. I'm looking to potentially rebuy that tomorrow. As we look at the 5-minute chart, you'll see that OTIV is just starting to break into another potential upswing. So I've got a current order on that for 165, but may not catch it. I think it was up to 172 after market last time I looked. So, but I'll be keeping my eye on that, and I'm looking to re-enter OTIV tomorrow as a continuation flag play. It still has the potential to get up into the $2 range. Okay. But watch it intraday, of course, and make your own judgment on that. But there looks like there's some more strength there. But that was a great performer. And, of course, Seed was the other flag we looked at yesterday. Both of these speculative plays, because they just have their own personality and are just doing their own thing. And, of course, Seed, we talked about an entry at 148. And, in fact, if we go to the... I believe it was 148. Let me just double-check that. Yeah, and that was actually the low of the day. So if you go back and have a look at Seed here, the low today was 148. So he hit that entry criteria perfectly and closed at 163. So already up about 10%, but that could continue on. So onto the new stocks that I found tonight. Actually, quite similar. Both of the long potentials I found. I'm personally loaded up with enough swing trade stocks. Most of the ones from the executive summary last night, all triggered today. So, and we had ones from previous positions that are still transpiring. So I've just been looking for these kind of more short-term speculative plays because they've got a lot of power potentially and their own personality. So one that popped up was ORMP, and again, this is a flag, in fact. And if you see, this had a really big move. This was up, went from basically 90,000 shares to 261,000 shares to 6.7 million. So this thing was just on a storm. If you have a look at where the flag potential is, therefore, and we measure that flag out, that's got the potential of getting up into the $10 range from where we are now at 7. So we'll take a closer look here at the hourly chart to kind of graph that up. And you'll see that we are kind of in a channel. Just make that a bit bigger for you. So money flow is excellent, and we're in a channel, downward channel, which is typical of a flag, upward movement, downward channel, and what you're waiting for is the break. Now, often 3 touches will bring a break. So 1 touch, 2 touch. This could be the 3rd touch, so we could actually just break straight away in the morning. So for that reason, if it breaks 736, I'll look to get in. Or it may pull back. So the other opportunity is actually to wait for a pullback down to this level around kind of 603, 605, that type of area. You just have to kind of look at where the how long it takes to get to the trend line to look for the entry. But basically the trend line or just above it is what I'm looking for as the entry point. And because that trend line moves, obviously we have to try and see when it's going to actually touch down on that area. But that's what I'm looking for. And for a target, you can see using the Fibonacci extensions here, the extension brings us straight up exactly onto 77% at 1052, with the full extension being at 1127. So 1052 kind of is what I would consider the best case scenario. So I'd look lower than that. And my first target I'd be putting on this would be looking for that 960 level, and assuming we can get a lower entry, putting a stop down around 564. If we do break straight away, and then I'd be looking at a stop down here around 673. Okay. All right, the next one is HQCL, also a flag play. So we'll go into the daily chart. You can see what I saw, hopefully. So obviously big move up, consolidation, another big move. So what we could be looking at here is a double flag. Now, if we go back into the hourly chart, you'll see that, here we go, tick-tock. Okay, you'll see that it looks like the stock hasn't broken yet. It looks like it's had a big move up. We can measure this kind of secondary flag and project it. And obviously that looks attractive going up to around that 240 zone. But if we actually go down and look a little bit closer, put the microscope on it, you'll see that it actually looks like it's already broken. So that was a nice move at the end of the day, punching through that what now looks more like a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern in itself, and has actually broken through that. So I think that if you can try and get it somewhere around these levels, possibly like a pullback to around 193, something like that. You obviously have to look at that in the morning. So that's a pullback to around this support area. That could be a nice bounce from, say, 194, 193, right up into that 227 area, which is just under where that extension of the 38.2 Fibonacci is. But potentially further, it could actually get up as high as this 236 level as a potential second target. So those are two flags. On the short side, there were a lot of opportunities, but we've already got a fair few. And the two that made the top of the list, I'll just throw them out there so you can evaluate them for yourselves. But AGEN had a lot of insider selling. And I like this. The problem was the risk-reward ratio. You'd have to get a rally back up, really, to get a proper risk-reward ratio. Because I'd be looking at a target of this kind of 438, even 442 type of level here. And obviously from 468 down to 438, let's say, there's not a lot of profit in that. So considering the risk, considering that the resistance is still all the way up here at $5, so you're basically making the same amount that you're risking. So that was my one problem with it, but at least I put it out there as something that definitely seems to have broken its trend and could be a possible trade. Just needs to come around a little bit, and right now I just can't spot what would make it right without making the chart not as attractive as it is now. The other one that kind of is a very similar scenario is A, or Agilent Technologies, and this has also kind of started to break down. Also has insider selling, and I'd be looking at this as a possible breakdown story as well. But there's a similar problem. It's just there's not a hell of a lot of profit potential versus the risk. I'd be looking for a breakdown below the low of this candle of $40.37, and if it were to do that, you could be getting a pretty decent drop. So down from kind of 40.37 down to these areas down here. But as you can see, not a huge amount of profit. So maybe better for an optionable trade. But I thought, for those of you who like to trade options and so forth, I just thought I'd throw it out there. One thing to point out about the market tomorrow, I mean, that's why we're picking these kind of more individual stocks and looking at the merits of those types of stocks moving against the trend, because the market has been very turbulent. And just to take a quick look at where we may be headed, if we go down to the 5-minute chart on the S&P 500, you'll actually see that today we broke down below this kind of opening range. We went below, went above, came back into a support area, bounced off, broke the high, and came back and forth. It was a kind of a very turbulent, indecisive market, and indecisive and undecided. And what we've actually got shaping up potentially there is a complex head and shoulders, which is where you get two left shoulders, a head, and then possibly two right shoulders. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a rally up into the 2060 level again, and or just slightly lower, and then a fade, bringing us back down to test, or even just a straight break through, down to test these lows, which is the extension of the head and shoulders from the breaking point, which actually takes us exactly back down to where we were at today. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us down at 2047 before the weekend. That would complete a head and shoulders pattern. So then, of course, it's a question of where to next, and that's why we're looking at those shorter term plays where we get the higher probability of not having to look too far into the future. So explosive moves, quick moves, and capturing profits ahead of the weekend. Certainly hope that helps. If you're not a member of our gold service yet, I'm sure you'd love to get these videos every day, wouldn't you? So simply go to acornwealthcorp.com and go to contact us and request a trial of our service. Otherwise, we'll see you all soon. Take care and have a wonderful weekend. Happy trading.